Go Pizza presents SDP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake. Let's go!
Ladies and gentlemen, a defenseman scored a huge goal this weekend.
Nick Robertson hitting 50 goals.
Boom,
in
that's
the
exactly
OHL.
where I was going. That's where I was going.
Robbie.
Man. The Leafs' right side, set up for years to come.
Forever. A right-handed defenseman, Nick Robertson, who I get to see next weekend in Peterborough when I'm doing a book signing there at the Pete's game. Steve, that's a Saturday night. What are you doing? The Leaf game's on? No, it's not. Because they're in California and they play Thursday, Friday.
Oh, there's no Saturday Leaf game.
There's no Saturday Leaf game.
I hate weekends like that.
They will be undefeated on Saturdays for at least 2 weeks.
That's great.
They're going to pull up Blue Jays.
That's great.
You win back-to-back World Series, and then there isn't one.
So you're
the champ 3 years running.
I like that.
All the Expos would have won it. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. It was the Jays, reigning world champions. It's a real World Series, just like 2017.
It's true.
Right?
That's absolutely. Listen, I want to also shout out Nick Barden. He is a he's on YouTube and he writes for Editor and Leaf. And Nick thought it would be hilarious yesterday to tweet he's got 500 followers, so this is possible. But he said 500 RTs and I will buy a Martin Marincin jersey.
Wow!
After the goal.
What's his thing, real quick?
At Nick Barden. And so I saw it come up on my timeline, and I said, oh. And I retweeted him, and within about 20 minutes, he had his full 500 retweets, so now he has to do it.
Wow, you didn't even need me.
No.
That's amazing.
He has 912 at this point.
Enjoy there, Bards. Enjoy there, bud.
You know, people really got on board for that. So Nick,
that's awesome.
Also, we need to see some pictures, Nick Barden. So please send them to us. We want to see the Martin Marincin jersey. You're not getting away with this though. Don't think that you could stop.
Oh, no.
Like this is not I can back out of this. Cannot happen.
We will financially ruin you.
And the Leafs, by the way, are on pace for 3 fewer points than last year. Only 3 fewer points.
Wow, after everything.
Feel good.
They fired their coach. Marner got hurt. Tavares got hurt. Riley's been hurt literally the whole season, maybe minus 5 games.
Marner's dad's been hurt for 4 years.
I mean, for 4 years, ever since the fourth line demotion, we got who else we got? Muzzin. Freddie's got a thing.
Yep.
I'm sure. What else? Hyman and Dermott at the beginning of the season.
Do you want to do Who Wore the Crown?
No.
You don't?
Nope.
Okay.
It's the end of the segment. It's done.
That's not how that
I want to hear it.
That's how that works.
I want to hear it.
Who wore the crown? Live generously and life will treat you royally. Why not pour yourself?
Slovakia!
Okay. So
no? Is that not how the bit goes?
Why not pour yourself
Why
in a
not?
friend of Crown Royal? Because we're going to talk about Who Wore the Crown, where we, with the help of you, recognize one Leaf player each show, gives it out their all for the blue and white because it's our town. It's our crown. It's not about what you have, but what you have to give. Now let's crown the Leaf that lives generously by giving it all for their team. Brought to you by our friends at Crown Royal. Live generously and life will treat you royally. Now, I want to shout out Mahesh K, who tweeted out last night. He's got odds for us today on who we will pick. And I don't know how sports betting odds work. Fun fact. I've never actually learned that.
No, me neither.
But anyway, he tweeted them out. So his prediction, if you were going to bet, Zach Hyman is his number one prediction for you. Matthews 2, Gauthier 3, Marincin 4, and the field, meaning anybody else, at a 265. Not bad. And for me, he thinks I'm going to pick Matthews, Hyman, Gauthier, Marincin, and then Jesse Blake's got a minus 40,000 as his Nylander pick, and the field is plus 50,000.
The negative number, so sports betting and odds, like the negative number is how much you would need to bet to win $100.
Oh.
And then the positive number is if you bet $100, that's how much you'd win on the bet.
So if I bet $100 on me picking Matthews, I would win $105?
What are the odds?
105.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'd get $5.
So you'd win $5, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now I understand
so
it.
to win $100 on my Nylander, what's the odds for Nylander?
Minus 40,000.
So to win $100 on your bet, you'd have to bet $40,000 on me picking Nylander, and if I did, then you'd win $100.
Now, if
you'd have to put up
so
40,000.
if you take a fall here, we can retire.
So what are the other odds?
The other odds for you,
No, yeah,
for you, the field is plus 50,000.
that's awesome. So I put down $100, you win $50,000 if I pick the field.
Wow.
I'm going to put $5,000 on the field.
So you take that $5,000, you multiply it by the odds, and then you'd win that.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. We could retire. This could be the last episode of the show because we retired because we're so rich.
Damn,
We
Jesse,
won money. Who do we win money from?
Jesse,
Where's
all
this
you
money?
have to do
We need
is
a
do the
bookie.
right thing.
There you go.
If you have a bookie and we place this bet,
We need a guy.
yeah.
It's Canada. The money it's just there.
Are you happy we have someone smart on this show?
No.
Like, are you happy we have a friend who's smart?
Or a
Is that what you call
degenerate.
Jesse?
Jesse, yes.
I don't know if
Jesse
he's-
was at my wedding party.
I don't know if he's as
Yes.
smart as he is belligerent.
Well, I
He
think-
just believes,
do
man.
you know
Jesse
anybody
is
who's
a psychotic politician in waiting.
do you know anybody who's truly smart that isn't a little bit belligerent?
No.
Truly smart people
Exactly.
are a little bit
A
belligerent.
little bit belligerent.
Yeah.
Yep.
Degenerate.
A little bit belligerent.
I like the word belligerent.
I like Jesse's very.
Who wore your crown, Steve?
Listen, we're blessed in the city. We're blessed.
We are.
We get to watch the silkiest hands in the GD show.
You talking
Firing-
about Jesse's hands?
Oh no! Well, those are the
Moisturized.
strongest and most Jack Skellingtonist hands in the show. Come on! What's this? What's this? There's something in the. Anyway.
That's a. Is it a
That is a reference.
Is it Nightmare Before Christmas, a Halloween movie, or a Christmas movie?
Oh man, that's a Christmas movie to me.
Same. I agree.
Christmas
Yeah.
movie.
It's a Christmas
Yeah.
movie.
I'll say
Yeah.
it's brilliant because you can watch it twice a year. You get flogged in November. The police come and arrest you. But end of October and almost end of December.
Yeah. Yeah.
Green light.
I
Jack Skellington.
gotta say, is November the worst month of the year?
Ooh.
Like, because there's nothing that happens. There's no holidays. There's no real big sports things.
January sucks pretty bad though.
Yeah.
It starts great.
But do you include? You're including New Year's in there.
Yeah, New Year's is a part of January.
Yeah.
You can't hate on
Exactly.
that.
Yeah, but you do most of your shots in December.
Agreed. But
Well, it depends.
I find January a nice relief from December, which is extremely stressful in the lead up to Christmas. And then it's not really a vacation because you're seeing your family. And let's be honest, that puts people on edge. So I think November might be low key the worst because like October's got Halloween and Thanksgiving. I'm not a big Halloween guy, but I know people love it. And
Americans got it figured out.
Americans put Thanksgiving in November.
See, I've always said that dinner comes before dessert, but the way the asterisk on that is they get like what is it 2 weeks off for Thanksgiving or something?
and Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
It's ridiculous.
And football and
Yeah, also, our Thanksgiving is too soon. Because
Yes.
you start September, you get Labor Day and stuff like that, and then just 4 weeks later, it's already Thanksgiving.
well, you guys know the reason for that, though,
Yeah,
right?
well, harvesting
What is
crops
that?
and shit, but it's
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah, I know.
Let's go.
I know.
What's the reason?
Let's
It's
join
the
them.
harvesting crops thing.
Because it's cold
well,
here.
It was because we had to harvest our crops a month earlier than people like 5 hours. So
We got to
Well-
stuff ourselves with corn,
well, it's-
maize, if you will.
Well,
earlier.
let's not do things by farmer times anymore.
All right,
yeah.
I'm Jesse.
Yes, you're right, and that's why we should also get rid of daylight savings. But don't get me
Yes.
started.
Jesse's the psychotic, enthusiastic politician sweeping the nation. No more daylight savings time.
100%.
Join American Thanksgiving.
Yes,
That's the whole platform.
that's it.
That's
Also,
all.
free transportation.
Hey,
Yeah.
There's something else. Luxembourg just did it.
Yes, they did.
Wow.
So I'm
They
bringing
did.
that to my platform.
Also, one more thing. Can I throw this into your platform? Just see
Yes.
what you think.
Go ahead.
Can we possibly look at taking the Memorial Cup and turning it into a March Madness style tournament?
Definitely.
Okay.
That's the first law we're going to pass.
I'm voting for Jesse.
It's 32 teams.
Yeah.
We'll do.
Yeah.
my crown goes to Martin Marincin.
Really?
Marty, dude,
He didn't even have a good game.
you shut your dirty mouth. All I know is a lot like William Nylander in Florida for 2 games, Martin Marincin got the game-winning goal. That's all I know. And he stealthed. Like, he was so stealth. He had a Canuck trailing and 2 in his face. And they're like, he's not taking the shot. And off the post. Even Demko, the disrespect. The disrespect. He was barely even set for the thing. And then he swoops in. Even Tavares is like, is this guy seriously going to clean up the net front garbage? That's me. And Marty said, I am faster than any animal alive. And he bangs it in. The world's silkiest giraffe. Move over, Pierre Engvall. It's Marty time. Who's ready to Marty? Leafs Nation is. I give my crown to Marty Marincin, who I have never criticized once. Never. Never, not once.
Well, it's funny because just before that, in the first period, he had one of the worst defensive zone things that I've ever seen in my life. I don't even know what to call it.
Like a paint shaker.
Oh yeah, it was just. It's like watching a toddler carry something that was breakable.
Like you watching me.
What? Watching you exist?
Just watching me out there.
Oh,
on skates.
Yeah. And it's not because I don't like Martin, but it's like, dude, really? Anyway, I'm gonna move this on, and I'm gonna give the crown to the man who truly deserves it, who was hitting yet another gear last night, and one of the goals. Did that take you back?
That sent me, Adam.
Who had one of the weirdest goals I've ever seen, and one of the most painful posts I've ever seen. It was to Austin Matthews, the best player on the team by far. Now, here's the thing. That first goal against Demko, still not sure how that went in, because people are like, here's the super slow-mo version. And it's all of a sudden behind him, and
Someone
you're like, how did it go in?
posted a picture. They think they figured it out. He had his pad was on the ground, but because his skate wasn't flush with the ice, like his foot wasn't flush, it was like up on its toe.
Oh.
There was like a sliver of light, and he found it. And Demko's standing there like,
How?
It'd be one thing if it barely squeaked through, like he got a piece of it. It didn't touch him.
Yeah,
The
clear.
puck did not touch Thatcher Demko.
Weird. You could try that shot 1,000 times and never make it again.
No.
And
On a still target.
but
Forget
that's
a goalie.
and he's he's going full speed down the wing. But
on a shit angle.
The thing that I really wanted to give him the crown for was the 360 he pulled later on in the game, 1-on-1, and fired it. And Demko didn't know where it was going again. Now, Demko's had a couple of rough nights, but he would have had a clear look at that one.
He's in a tough situation.
100%.
Yeah.
And it hit the post, and Matthews actually leads the league in hit posts.
12.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And then he hit the
Well-
post again on the power play when Nylander passed it to him in front of the net.
Yep.
And he run off the side of the post. He should have had like 4 goals last night.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable.
So if you add those 12 posts, he'd have 56 goals.
Ifs and buts, man. Ifs and buts. Jesse.
Yeah, some butts.
I got 3 things.
Oh.
1,
Is this the field?
It's Trey Croner.
Martin Marincin
What about him?
coming down. Flying down the wing. Flying. What am I talking about coming down? Flying down the wing.
Galloping. Galloping.
Would you say that he's as fast as McDavid or faster?
I would say 2.3 times as fast.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just throwing that out there. Maybe even 5.2 on account of his number's 52.
Then you get sports track on that. you
Yeah.
know? Track his numbers coming down.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you looked at the play,
Oh, I did.
if you analyzed it closely after the goal, because there was a lot of excitement going on. And
So much.
There wasn't a lot of breaking down the play because Martin Marincin scored. That's enough. But if you look at the play, when Tavares is coming, when he's exiting the zone, when he's by the opposing faceoff dot, he weighs his options. He sees that Marincin's on his left side, and he's streaking down the ice, and
There
he's
he
wide
goes.
open.
There he goes.
There's a reason he's wide open. The man who's always in the right spot, who's always doing the right thing, had already broken away for the
Number
for the
88.
lead pass.
Field.
Breaking away for the lead pass on the right side of the ice. William Nylander.
Hey!
It's the little things.
Wow.
I'm financially right! The field was due!
It's the little things in hockey that create these plays. The reason Marty is wide open is because the 2 defensemen are coming to the strong side where Nylander's streaking down the ice.
They're shook.
And that's usually where Tavares is going to go. He's going to pass that right there to William Nylander. Probably going to have a little break. Probably going to score himself, We don't know because it didn't happen, but I'm going to assume he's going to score. And it leaves Marty wide open, who does the goal scoring for him.
Yeah, it's true.
I got to give credit to William Nylander for getting that goal for Marty Marincin.
Well, and you're
not
not making a bad assumption assuming that William Nylander would score because he scored 18 in his last 29.
Yes, and that was my other 2 points. Shout out Nylander for getting the GWG again. Back-to-back games, Tampa and Florida. Shout out that one.
Yeah.
And third point, shout out Nylander for getting a bad call on that holding from Troy Stetcher. Because if that's the playoffs,
we're going deep.
If that's the playoffs, that's not called. Come on, already playing playoff hockey.
Yeah.
Mid-February, well, end of February, already playing playoff hockey. William Nylander.
So yeah, all right. Now here's what I want to say something. I said earlier this season that, and this is when Jesse had just started picking William Nylander at random. This is, I think, when Mike Babcock was still the coach, and I said, listen.
Jesse picks off merit.
Oh, you're right.
Yes, I pick him when he has a great game.
Agreed.
Which is just often.
I know, this guy, right? This flipping guy.
Where we find this guy?
So at the time, I said, I love William Nylander, and I've defended William Nylander, but it would sure be nice if he scored a big goal.
Right.
And at the time, it was not a popular take, but if you looked back through it, were not a lot of big goals in his career. This year, boom, flag in the earth. It's almost like he was listening. He has been everything that I hoped and wanted and said and believed that he would be from 2016 onwards. The first time I saw him called up with Ben Smith and Kapanen.
Oh, wow.
And Zach Hyman, too. They were all called up the same game. And Steve sat that game out.
I did.
Because you wanted to come record the podcast. And we're like, we could have recorded another night, Steve. And you're like, nah. And Mrs. Dangle went instead.
Oh, my
I don't understand that, but...
And it wasn't Ben Smith. Even better, Nikita Soshnikov.
No, Ben Smith came up, too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Gosh darn. I missed German League star and Calder Cup champion Ben Smith. Captain.
True.
Of the Toronto Marlies when they won that damn thing.
Wow.
That's what they're missing right now.
Yeah, I think it's been undeniable this season how many
amazing
big goals he's had.
Huge. Huge. And you know what? I'm sure glad that they didn't listen to Don Cherry when he said they need to trade him or Mitch Marner for Eric Branson.
Oh, goodness. Here, this from Paul.
What do you do with that?
I was supposed to read something and that just, woo!
All right.
Goodness.
That's a take.
This from Paul Hendrick. William Nylander has game-winning goals in back-to-back games. This was obviously before last night. His 7 game-winning goals, 7
this year,
lead the Leafs. All 7 have come on the road.
Oh, huge.
Damn,
ridiculous.
Wow. Talking big money Willie.
Big money Willie. Well, middle of the pack money Willie, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Reasonable money Willie.
Reasonable money Willie.
Yeah.
Reasonably priced Willie.
Right?
Which is, I think, the kind of Willie that we're all after. Now, that's Who Wore the Crown for this week. Brought to you, as always, by Crown Royal.
I feel like that took a turn.
Next time the puck drops, why not live generously
wait a minute.
and treat your Leafs
Wait a minute.
to a Crown Royal old-fashioned.
Wait a minute. wait a minute.
I'm not sure what the problem is here.
No. Let's keep going.
Let's keep going. I have a question.
Why
guys.
not?
I have a question.
Sorry.
I have a question. Is Jim Hughson a Canucks fan, guys?
Oh, my
You do not ask me about coworker Jim Hughson. How dare you?
I can't tell, because off the bench comes Beagle.
He blocked the shot and he came off the bench. Where's the line?
Listen,
You're a bully.
what I want to say is...
You're a Bell bully.
I'm not.
Bell let's bully.
Oh.
Hashtag Bell let's bully. You guys are hypocritical liars.
No, I think what I'm trying to say is I think Jim Hughson is a Canucks fan, and I think he enjoys, like most people do, trolling Leafs fans. And I think I have to be honest with you, I'm a little bit here for it, because if I were him, I would do the exact same thing. Leafs fans, okay, something that Leaf fans need to become self-aware. You need to become like the computer in Terminator. You need to be self-aware. And you need to realize that you're the big bad wolf.
You need to kill millions of people?
No, not that. No,
right.
no.
Okay.
I've never seen Terminator.
So Adam,
okay.
Is it good?
The computer becomes self-aware, and basically the whole job of the Terminators, the whole job of the computer is to defend humanity from itself. And so what it does, it takes over humanity, and humanity tries to fight back. And that's because man is man's biggest enemy. It's a good little concept. Considering it came out in like the early '80s, it's pretty cool.
Okay.
But some of the newer movies suck. Holy moly! The point I'm trying to make here is Leaf fans. You're an easy target because you're the biggest target. Nobody.
And also easy to goad.
No, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's cheering for you except the enormous fan base that follows the Toronto Maple Leafs. So stop worrying about it. When Jim Hughson bothers you with on the bench comes me, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Just listen. You're everybody's enemy. Just start accepting the fact that you're big, they're not, and you're okay.
The Leafs don't need more fans.
You don't. Well, listen. We'll take them anyway.
Yeah,
we're like
we'll
the Blob,
take them, but
There's a
we
little
got enough.
There's a little part of the Canucks fan base that wants the Leafs to go to the Cup final.
You think so?
Just to be like, okay.
Oh.
Okay, now it's your turn.
Yeah.
Because
I can see
everyone cheered for the cute and cuddly Flames, and everyone cheered for the cute and cuddly Oilers. Sens less. I didn't cheer for the Sens in 07.
that. No, I didn't either.
I did.
Well, it's because you're the
I was
worst.
like, oh no, they lost to Anaheim. Oh no. I also thought the Pronger-Niedermeyer pairing was pretty cool.
It was a little bit good. It was a little bit good. I looked at hockey differently back then. I was like, yeah, break his legs, which is what the Ducks did.
Right.
My name is Brian Burke, and I just told them to go out there and break each other's legs, and they did, and we won the cup.
Brian Burke, who probably had the worst week because he put together the USA team that lost in the Golden Goal game. So all week, everyone's been asking him, hey, how'd it feel to have the Golden Goal scored against you?
Yeah.
The team you built. So it's not that fun.
Well, thanks for asking that question, Dick. No, where are we going?
Well,
I don't even remember.
we are just talking about the fact that, listen, the Jim Hughson vitriol every time the Canucks and Leafs play. Relax, everyone. He is a Canucks fan, and he probably doesn't like the Leafs, and it'll be okay.
Oh, do people have a problem with the people broadcasting the game?
By the way,
I don't see Greg Millen trend every single week.
Yeah.
Yo, what's the deal with Greg Millen? I guess I don't listen enough.
Because it's Bell that's bully from you. That's why.
He works for Bell.
I think Greg
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't?
He's Rogers.
Yeah, he's right.
Oh,
You
is
don't
he
even know
Rogers?
your own
Yeah.
coworkers.
I don't know.
Just big shot at him.
Wait, 'cause
Doesn't have time for names.
We have Chris Cuthbert, right? I really like
Yes.
Chris Cuthbert and Ray Ferraro.
Yeah, of course you do. Of course
Oh, he's
you
just
do.
really good.
No, we'll see.
Okay.
What's he ever done? Just give me a resume.
Donald, probably a lot. 20 years plus, probably.
Okay, gold medal game. That's one game. All right? Like, whatever.
Did he do that? I don't
He
even
did.
know. I don't know.
He did.
That's a lot.
One game, though. Get a grip, Adam.
The game,
Get
but
a
okay.
grip. It's one game. Get a grip.
The Leafs are 3-0 since Ayers Gate.
Yeah.
Now, from what you saw last night and what you've seen this week, how you feeling? How's it make you feel?
Man, I have, calmed down significantly, to say the least. But also, I do really admire what the team's doing because, you know, the narrative of they're not trying hard enough and, you know, blah, 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 blah. That was legitimate.
Yeah, they weren't trying hard
There's
enough.
been a couple times this year where it's happened.
The team was capable of more.
Yeah.
You can't tell me they tried harder than Carolina, right? So, and you can't tell me they tried harder than Pittsburgh in the first game that they played. You know, and you could say, well, it's based on results. No, well, sometimes trying gets you the result you want. You know what I mean? Trying harder than the other team.
Yeah, and if the Leafs tried that more.
Being more crisp, more disciplined. The 4-0 game against Pittsburgh made me go, what happened? What happened the game before? And then where did it go? Right? So that's why I was losing my mind. But then Muzzin goes down, and just seeing it's like two third graders stacked on each other's shoulders wearing a trench coat, times 6 out there on the D, and what they're doing with what they've got is incredible. And, you know, Martin Marincin jumping up in the rush, that is something a guy who plays over 20 minutes does. And he did. We're not talking enough about Tyson Barrie took 0 shots last
25
night
minutes.
and played over 25 minutes.
Yep.
Even Kelly Rosen looks like he shot out of a cannon every
Shots
time he
on
hits the ice.
goal, right?
Shots on goal.
Because
I'm sure he fired
I think he had a couple shots
I'm sure
and
he
they just
did.
didn't make it to the net.
Yeah, and he set up goat.
Yeah.
You know, on the first goal. They're imperfect. And like Sandin is doing a lot of sinking and swimming, and sometimes it's a little bit more sink than swim, but he's fighting. Like he's battling every game. He's laying big hits. He's trying out there.
He looks like Travis Dermott the first year when he played like 37 games.
Oh, I don't even know if he's there. Like in a perfect world with no injuries, they wouldn't have burned the first year of his ELC. The second Morgan Riley got hurt, it's no, okay, you're coming up. But what they're doing with what they have is pretty remarkable.
Jesse, how do you feel?
I feel like we should be very optimistic about their chances in the first round. Because if they're firing all cylinders for the next, I think it's 16 games, if you go on a little run here for the next 16, 15, whatever it is, and then at the end of this little run, if you get Riley back, if you get Muzzin back, if you get CeCe back, then it's like, oh crap, these guys are on fire, plus they're getting all of this backup who's been resting and just getting stronger. And then they go into the first round and say they play Tampa. It's going to be really close. And I could definitely see the path right now of them winning that first round series.
And you start to see the factor that just atrophy plays like in the course of winning a championship. Like Riley might be rusty, Muzzin might be rusty, CeCe might be rusty. Stamkos might be rusty on account of he's about to miss 6 to 8 weeks. There's no way. I have a hard time believing any of the people I just mentioned are going to be 100%.
Right.
Like, come playoff.
And the Stamkos injury is interesting because that was a nagging injury that they just decided to get surgery on.
Yeah.
Where's the doctors telling him that, 3 weeks
Probably
ago?
tried
So
to
he's
play
in
through
time.
it. I bet that's a hernia, by the way, and I bet it
You
got
think
worse.
so? It said
core injury.
That's hernia.
Normally, I mean, it can be other things, but I would imagine it's a hernia, and I would imagine that it's probably because what happens is the lining in your my dad had one. The lining in your around your stomach rips, not your stomach itself, but the muscular lining that keeps everything in that pocket in rips, and you have to go in and get it done. And it can be like some hernias are so bad that you actually see people's things like pushing against their their guts pushing against their skin.
Right.
And so,
Jesus.
So if it is that, and again, they haven't told us that, but it's 6 to 8 weeks for sure, minimum.
Well,
and then
what
try
Crosby
taking
had,
a slap
isn't it?
shot after that, right?
Right.
With your whole body twisting. I mean, that's part of his game.
So, and this is obviously not very official, but we were going through the footage of the Leafs Lightning game, trying to find the shift where that happened. He hit Clifford, didn't think anything of it, and then he hit Goat, and then he sort of buckled to the left. I thought it might have been his left leg, but I could totally understand how that might have been his core. But that, look at Crosby. He's playing great. And I'm pretty sure he had a similar injury. He was out with abdominal surgery earlier in the season. So, he could come back and play just great in the playoffs.
Totally.
You don't know. But right now, I believe odds are from Dom Lucian, it's 73%, I think, likelihood that the Leafs play the Lightning in the first round.
Yeah.
Until that goes down to 0 next week or something.
Right, because the percentages are crazy like that.
Yeah.
But
They have one bad California road trip. Oh, well.
you know what, guys? I got to tell you, my faith is not there, and I told you that it wouldn't.
Really?
I told you that it wouldn't be, and I told you it wouldn't be because this team, and I got a couple DMs from people going, you guys, you're going to have to walk back every bad thing you said last week. I kept my DMs open.
They're playing
I'm
the
not
way
looking-
I screamed for them to.
When we speak at the time of things, at the time, those things are true.
Isn't it crazy how a week later that's outdated?
Sometimes those things may hold true going forward. Sometimes circumstances change.
It's weird.
Why is that a hard concept?
Wins, losses, performances, none of those matter. All that matters is that you're right and everyone knows it. That's all.
No, my favorite is I'm not going to take a stance, and then I'm going to wait till your stance gets out of date, and then I'm going to put you on the wall.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say this. I am sticking to my stance. And my stance was get to the second round, get to the third round, then we're talking. And I also... there's also a caveat to that. It's not just because I'm being stubborn. I'm stubborn. But I also believe that the Leafs have a serious issue brewing. And we've talked about this before, and it's still an issue. 2 shots, 2 goals, kick off the game. Freddie Anderson. Guys, this is an issue. It's a problem. And it's not Freddie the person. It's not even Freddie the goalie.
It's Freddie the puck stopper.
But it's how Freddie's stopping it right now or not stopping it.
Right.
And I remember at the beginning of the season, I'm like, Freddie Anderson's my favorite player. So it's not like I'm looking at this going, screw Freddie Anderson. But it can't happen. I don't care how much team defense how many team defense issues the Leafs had. Here's the thing. The Leafs team defense 2 and 3 years ago was far worse than it is now. Far worse. Yeah, who was the top line pairing with Morgan Riley that first year with the second year with Mike Babcock? It was Connor Carrick. Haynes, no, before Haynes, pre-Hainsey. Hunwick.
It was briefly Marincin.
So it was Riley Hunwick, Gardner Carrick, and then Polak and probably Marincin.
Oh boy.
That was the Leafs defense. And you know what Freddie got that year? Somewhere in the neighborhood of like a 918.
Yeah.
You know what he's at now? A 906.
Yeah.
The fact is, you can blame some of the goals on Leafs defense, team defense. I'm with you. I 100% with you. But there is no question that Freddie Anderson is underperforming. Something's up. He's either injured or mentally something's not right.
I think it's mental. There's no way.
If it was injury, they would have pulled him at this point.
100%.
So I'm concerned because the Canucks and the Leafs are a lot like each other, right? Where they both can score goals and they had no goaltending last night. And I'm really concerned in the playoffs, especially going against, Tampa Bay with the firepower they have, and Steven Stamkos coming back, and Kucherov being back to being Nikita Kucherov, and Yanni Gord, and Braden Point, and Hedman, and
Sorelli. Didn't even get to
Destroyer.
They're unreal.
They're unbelievable.
And they just got Coleman, and they just got Gaudreau.
And I don't blame the Leafs for not loading up, but the point here is, if we've seen Freddie be that bad in the playoffs, we were there. We were in Boston. We watched him for 2 straight games in that 2018 series, let in 6 awful goals each game.
Wasn't good.
So if he's where he's at now, he better clean it up in the next 10 games, or you have to look at other options.
I know.
You have to look at Jack Campbell.
And that's why I don't think he's hurt, because they have him playing games to find his game. If he's hurt, you're not like, maybe if we play him more, he'll get better. No, that's the opposite, right? And then, though, his numbers they're absolutely terrible. The amount of times he allows the first goal is terrible. The amount of times he allows the first shot is terrible. And I'm watching last night, and I'm like, both defensemen are behind the frigging net. I know you need a save. I know you need one.
He's been giving them that for years now.
I know, and you need. Oh, the Leafs are giving up. The one thing I don't like about certain goalie stats is to say high danger scoring chance. I think is completely vague. And
You don't like that number?
no, I like the idea of it, but
Okay.
I'm looking at the first goal the Canucks scored yesterday, and I'm going, that's more than a high danger scoring chance. That's Freddie needs to rob the guy. To not make a save, rob the guy. So
Because it's cross crease, right?
you're asking him for 5-6 highlight of the night saves every night. Not just big saves. You're asking him for above and beyond. And then the second goal is a funny bounce. I don't know if I blame anybody for that. But that's one where it's like you'd be nice to get a save.
Yes, but
the
that's
first
what
one,
then
I'm
you're
like,
saying
holy fuck.
then you're saying he did have a good game. If the
I am.
2 goals he allowed aren't his fault at all, then there's nothing wrong with
but
Freddie, which I don't
You
agree
need
with.
one on the second one, you could argue. The first one, I'm like,
Yeah, but
that's more than a high danger
the
scoring
highlight
chance.
reel
That's the
saves
defense abandoning
are
him.
what he's been giving them. That's the bar.
Yeah.
I know that's the bar. Jesse, can you look up like just what the save percentages are around the league? Like who are the top guys who have played at least 20 games?
Okay, just regular save percentage?
Yeah, just regular save percentage. I would like that because it feels like I was looking at Connor Hellebuck's stats
I got it right here,
last
when
night
you're
at the
ready.
beginning of the Jets-Oilers game, and I saw it was a 920, and I'm like, holy shit, no one gets a 920 anymore. Like that, you could get a 920. Freddie was a 918. He wasn't even nominated for the Vezina.
No, it was a joke.
It's changing very quickly though. Like so,
Well, there's a lot
What
more
are,
goals.
what are our minimum games?
20.
20 games. Kudobin, 930.
Wow.
Darcy Kemper, 929.
Wow.
Pavel Francouz, 929.
That's why he got the extension.
So wait, say those again.
Top 3. Anton
Backup.
Kudobin in Dallas. Darcy Kemper in Arizona. Pavel
1A,
Francouz
probably.
in Colorado.
Starter and backup.
They've all
That's
played-
unbelievable.
Kudobin's at 28. Kemper's at 26. Francouz is 29.
Francouz
Games
is
played.
he's gonna steal Grubauer's job.
Oh, I think it's
He's
already gone.
unbelievable. So and then who do we got?
And then we got Tuukka Rask,
Yep.
928.
Love that trade.
Tristan
Great trade.
Jarry, 924. Jake Allen, 922.
Jake Allen.
Yeah, Ben Bishop, 921. Antti Ranta, 921. Then we keep going down the list.
So there are guys, I guess. Who's around Freddie? Like I want to know some of the names. around
906.
Freddie.
Who's in the 906 at range? Because
Yeah.
that's what he's got.
I got to keep scrolling. To do Mike Smith in Edmonton's a 905.
Okay.
Mrazek is the 904.
Okay.
Riddich, 907.
Big save, Dave.
UC
was not last
Saros is 907. Aaron Dell, 907.
Oh!
Guys, are you hearing this?
Bernier, 907 in Detroit.
Are you hearing this?
Bernier,
guys?
I cannot believe no one got him at the deadline. Look at what has happened to Jimmy Howard. That guy hasn't won a game since October 25th.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because he hasn't played. He's played 20. Mm-hmm. That's unbelievable.
I think the excuses I think there's too many of them excusing Freddie for his bad play because something is not right.
Something's not
there.
right, guys.
Yeah.
He shouldn't
the
be
numbers.
He shouldn't be down with Aaron Dell and Peter Mrazek.
Jonathan Bernier.
And on
the worst team in the history ever.
Historically worse than the historically bad Sabres.
It's weird. Is
The
it weird?
Red Wings.
Is it weird?
No, I know, but the Sabres were so bad a couple of years ago, remember? The Jack Eichel year?
Yeah.
And then they were
God.
horrendously bad, and I think that this year's Detroit's worse.
Is it? Oh boy, that's a tough race. It's just them passing each other the puck. Is it weird that I look at the first goal that Vancouver scored, and I'm less bothered by it than the big save he made in the third period, where he just kicked the rebound right onto JT Miller's stick, and he forced himself to make an enormous save.
He had an unbelievable third period.
He did, but the past few games, his rebound control has been awful. Awful. He's not playing his best. That's 100%, and I'll concede that. But I just look at the opportunities that are afforded to the other team night in and night out, and I know you need a save. They're unbelievable.
But he
good
used to make
chances.
those saves, and he's not. And that's the difference, guys. That's the difference.
I don't know if it was ever this bad.
Oh, Steve,
Was it
is
ever
it
this bad?
horrendous? Yes.
Is it
Look,
fair?
we just went through a team that made the playoffs with Matt Hunwick, Morgan Riley, Jake Gardner, Roman Polak.
You're
Come
talking
on.
about on paper. I'm
That
talking about
team
the
was
way they're playing.
awful on
Yeah.
It
defense.
sure was.
But
Awful.
the way they're playing now, is it fair to ask him to still make those saves when they're happening so consistently? You know?
Yes.
The defensive lapses.
Because that's his level of play. They wouldn't have got to the playoffs that year
No, that's true.
if it were not for him. And he was bad in October, right? Remember he had a bad Fred Tober, really not good. First
sure
couple of years
did.
here, he did not play well in October. My point here is, guys, I cannot have faith in this team until Freddie Anderson is right.
Yeah.
And I can't have faith in this team until they make it to the first round, too, because honestly, we know it's Tampa and it's Boston. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be Tampa and Boston unless something goes catastrophically wrong with whoever Boston plays in the first round.
Right now, it's Carolina.
So at a certain point, let's just recognize this for what it is. Toronto's going up against murderers. These people are so good at what? Scoring insane
goals and winning hockey games.
Yeah. And you know what Toronto's bad at? Playing defense. And now their goalie's not up to snuff.
Well, and their penalty kill has been terrible. But over the last 3 games, 6 for 6.
Yep.
So that's good, including Tampa. I was encouraged by that.
Yeah.
The penalty kill's got to improve, or they're toast.
Well,
They're dead.
The thing is that I'm not trying to be negative for the sake of being negative, but I am legitimately worried about that. I think that's the one thing. If Freddie Anderson was playing Freddie Anderson for any other iteration of Freddie Anderson up until 2020, even Freddie Anderson from the beginning of this season, from October to December, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I agree with you. I can see a path forward through here, but I just don't see it yet. And I want whatever he's working through. Maybe last night was the first step towards whatever he and the goalie coaches are working on. And maybe the rebound control was a bit of a mistake or whatever it was. And I understand the Leafs team defense sucks. I get that too. But you cannot account for a 10 or more save percentage
He's
loss
not good enough.
on team defense. Period. End of story. Don't even talk to me about it. So there's other stuff though that we should talk about with the Leafs.
Fuck you.
There's nothing to talk about.
The one thing that separates the Leafs and Tampa and Boston is that the Leafs have just allowed more goals in the season. Do you know how many teams have scored more goals than the Leafs as a team?
Oh, that's a good question.
Where are they sitting in goals for?
Let me have a
I'm going
look.
to say 1.
They're number 1.
Oh.
They're
Leafs are
first
number 1.
place in the entire league in goals scored as a team.
Wow.
But then you look at their goals against, and it's up there, and it's like not very good.
No.
It's like 218 or something.
Yeah, their guy is
Yeah.
pretty high.
But if they just scaled back some of those goals against, then the team's up there with all the best teams in the league.
What if they simply stopped allowing goals?
And if you just stopped allowing a
If I
little
were
bit
them.
percentage more of goals, it's a different season.
And what's weird is I actually feel like, at least in the last few games, the number of scoring chances has gone down. But
Against, you mean?
Against, yeah. But the ones I see are grade A. They're
Yeah.
so good.
To be fair, and I think James Myrtle tweeted this out last night, recently.
Yeah.
As much as the defense core is trying, I think their total cost this year to the Leafs is $6.85 million.
Yeah.
And there are 18 defensemen that make more than that in the league right now.
The Leafs D-core right now makes less than Nylander.
It's a little depleted. Now, Zach Hyman, who we did not crown. I'm surprised he didn't get a crown, but 21 goals last year in 71 games. This year, he has 21 in 47, and he missed the first 6 weeks of the year.
In typical Zach Hyman fashion, you could give him the crown every week if you really wanted to. And it wouldn't even be shoehorning.
You give Willie the crown every week.
It wouldn't even be shoehorning.
He does it off merit. How dare you?
Yeah, he earns it every single episode.
Every single episode. Zach Hyman, 21 goals in 47 games. That is a 36-goal pace over an 82-game season. Zach Hyman.
And that seems small to Leaf fans now, just because Austin Matthews scores at the rate he does. Like, Leaf fans, I think it's almost like because of everything else, all the other noise. Have you forgotten that in our lifetime, we've never seen a 45-goal scorer? Like, it's been 25 years.
What was the most amount of goals Phil Kessel ever had as a Leaf?
I think it was 30.
I think it was 36.
Is it?
I think it was 36. He never hit 40. He was always supposed to. He never hit it.
The most amount of goals that Phil Kessel ever scored as a Toronto Maple Leaf was 37. He did it twice.
37. So Zach Hyman is closing in on a pace. He's closing in on Phil Kessel's best goal-scoring pace as a Leaf.
When you put it that way, that's freaking ridiculous.
And he's like their fourth best goal scorer?
Yeah, probably
fifth.
Yeah, I would
Probably
put him behind
fourth.
Well,
that.
Sorry.
no, Marty's better than Marner at scoring goals right
Yep.
now.
He's not better
And that's
than
not even an
Marincin.
insult. That's not
He's
what
not
he does.
better than Marincin. You're
You
right.
gotta put him after Marincin.
Don't
Right.
insult Marincin.
Yeah.
Right. The best goal scorer in Slovakian history. Hasa, whatever. Never heard of him.
No.
Here's
Never heard
something
of
else that's really funny. The most goals Matt Sundin ever scored with the Leafs was 41. Now, that was the dead puck era.
Yes.
However,
It's different. Yeah.
Zach Hyman is closing in on Matt Sundin.
I doubt Zach Hyman ever has a 40-goal season, but
I mean, he might have a 36 one.
might
here.
have
The
a
way he's
36.
playing.
If he was playing a full season this year, he'd have more than Alexander McGillney did in his first year with the Leafs and second year with the Leafs. 24 and 33.
See, this is equal parts Zach Hyman is playing great, and the dead puck era sucked.
It did suck.
Sucked.
Yeah.
It was so bad. You want to complain about rules never being enforced.
Yeah. And you want to
were
watch.
just allowed to latch onto people like a koala, and it was fine. It was fine.
And why hockey had lost a good generation of fans to other sports, honestly.
Should we call the rules or have a glowing puck?
Glowing puck.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the 90s. We have the technology. It's great.
I'm just
Everyone
searching up
loves
some
it.
names here.
It's very good to watch on my standard definition television. My 4x3 standard definition with the bunny ears.
The most goals Doug Gilmour ever scored for the Leafs, 32. And he did that twice.
32. What did he get the year he won the Selke?
32, 95, 127.
So Zach Hyman's on a better goal scoring pace than arguably the greatest season any Leaf has ever had.
Yeah.
He's a little bit good, guys. He's a little bit good.
Well, and here's the thing. Next season is his last of this contract.
right.
Mother F.
Yeah.
How about this? In the summer, they can negotiate an extension.
How about we don't bring back Zach Hyman because the money is too much?
How about you get out of the studio right now? No.
What about that?
That's a very
How old
interesting
is he?
conversation, though.
He's 27. He's 90. He's
Is
same
he?
year.
And
Yeah.
I think you
He's a 92 baby.
try because that's right into his good. I mean, we're getting his good years now. Right?
Because how much? Okay, how much is Zach Hyman going to cost?
This is the conversation,
He's
right?
a $4 or
Zach
$5 million
Hyman
player.
puts how much?
He's a $5 million player on the open market. You guys know it.
Yeah,
He's a $5 million player.
5.5.
Easily. If Kevin Hayes is a $7 million player, what's Zach Hyman?
Especially if he puts up 30 goals.
He's not.
We can't afford Zach Hyman.
Who do you even use as a comparable?
You don't use Kevin
Alexander
Hayes?
Ovechkin.
Tom Wilson.
Oh, but
That's
that's
a good
2
one.
years old, that contract. So he's what, 5.5?
It's also propped up by a cup.
Yeah, and a great run, which
a
he
good
deserves.
Man,
Awesome.
the way
That contract looked awful.
the way
it's
the
amazing.
core is set up, if the Leafs do win a cup, and I would never make that's great. You play to win the cup. That's great. End of story. But you are going to get very attached to players, and they are going to be gone very fast.
Yeah.
Well, ask Chicago about that.
Yeah, Chicago
That's what
about
happened.
that. Well, and because they actually made hard decisions, they won more than one.
Right.
And then it wasn't until they started bringing the band back together that they stunk.
You can't go home.
No.
That's the saying. You can't go home. And the thing is with the Leafs is that you have to do that. You have to develop another Zach Hyman. I mean, that's sort of.
Oh, good luck.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm not saying
that.
yeah, I think you can. You can find that. Is Zach Hyman the only player in history that ever hustled for a puck? I mean, I think you can find that.
It's a spirit thing. It's just
You
Yeah,
can
but find that guy.
That's their job. Guys,
dude,
this is the only guy with spirit we're
Yeah.
ever going to see.
Kapanen has shown this potential for years, and it's just coming out of him now.
He's 23. Give him time. He's got 4 more years to be Zach Hyman.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I think
Chill.
Kapanen is younger now. I think Kapanen's younger now than when Hyman made his NHL debut.
Yeah, he probably
Okay.
was. Yeah, Hyman took
I'm siding with you.
Hyman was drafted in 20.
olive branch.
No.
Hyman was drafted in
See?
2010, guys. He was already 3 years in the in the Florida Panthers organization when this podcast started.
Zach Hyman's 1 year younger than John Tavares.
He's not a kid.
He's turned 28 this
He
year.
was the same draft year as Taylor Hall and Tyler Seguin.
Yeah.
All right. Dope.
All right.
Nah, but we'll never find another one.
How will we ever find another one?
We are now. No, Zach. Here's the plan now. All right,
All right,
he's
all
going to
right,
sign
what is
8
it?
years, league minimum.
No.
Because he's
gonna sign the Kyle Clifford contract.
He's the hero. All right. I won't have any Zach
Is it
Hyman slander
wrong-
on my podcast.
Is
I
it
won't have
wrong of me to say that you should just play out the contract next year with Zach Hyman?
Yes.
And not
No.
sign an extension at all because
This
it's
is-
too much money?
This is the point. This is why you have a farm team.
Unless it's great.
I think
Unless what he's coming in at is great.
he's going to get $5 million. He's a 30-goal scorer who can play on the first line, hustles for the puck every time. It's $5 million.
and guess what? Same year, Morgan Riley's up too.
Leafs don't have $5 million for him.
Oh, Morgan Riley has not played a game for 2 months, and he has made money during that time.
Guys,
He has made a lot of money.
Unless
the focus
So you
that
can
summer
play
will be
without
Morgan
me, can
Riley.
you?
Unless the Leafs find a way to change their goalie situation to someone who's very cheap, or a pair of people who are very cheap, and then that $5 million that Freddie Anderson makes can go towards Zach Hyman.
Listen,
There's something.
I think we should appreciate.
I think
that
you put the money in the
now,
goaltending
he's
position.
awesome.
Nah, what about Zach Hyman?
You know what? This is the most Leaf fan conversation ever. We're dreading the contract he's going to have rather than celebrating the one he has, which is awesome. From the moment it was signed, it was awesome, and it's still awesome. Hooray! Let's talk about how awesome it is.
If we can't speculate on future things, then we don't have a podcast.
Yeah, well, exactly, dude. This is what the whole media
Okay, from
thing's
now on,
about.
new rule: no speculation. All right,
Well,
what's next?
then you can read the box scores, and you don't need us.
Is that what you want? You want us to do highlights?
Yeah.
Bang,
Bang.
Zach Hyman.
Bang.
Bang.
That's a good one.
It's 2-1.
2-1 game. You got to say it with the Dutchy. Wait till you get a load of this shit.
Right.
Little 2-1 game.
You brought up Kasperi Kapanen, but I did want to quickly highlight. I love the fact that Kasperi Kapanen in the last 2 weeks has become a guy that NHL teams hate taking a shift against. He and it's almost like it's like, oh, I get it. You know, sometimes you're like, how come you understand something that's major in your life and you're like, how come I couldn't have understood that a week ago? A week ago, I did not understand this, but I know I have crossed the threshold. I've come in from the cold. I for some reason understand something massive in my life that I did not get before. It's like Kasperi Kapanen finally goes, I get
Yep.
it. I know what I am.
He is the danger. He's figured it out.
He's the other danger because Hyman's the first danger.
We talked about the factor.
Yep.
You don't want to be the guy who your teammates see and go, ugh. You want to be the guy who, when you hit the ice, when they even make eye contact with you on the bench, the other team goes, ugh, gotta take a shift against fucking Kapanen. Like, with it was probably already unpleasant to play against him on account of he's one of the fastest players in the league. And are you tired? You hungover? You battling the flu? You got a nagging injury? Guess what? Whee! Friggin' meep out there. Meep. I don't do a good road runner, but he's meeping out there.
Yeah.
Now it's meep into you. And if you have anything to say about it, he'll punch you in the face. Exhausting. I love it. I love having this guy on my team.
And he's on Instagram posting stuff like cheeks clapping and because that's what he does, man.
Why not?
Why not?
Listen, it's the sort of, you can post your goofy shit if you're playing good.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I was getting mad because he was posting goofy shit. The Leafs were losing, and he just got suspended.
Yeah, that was annoying.
But
Yeah.
now he's cappy, he's scrappy. You see what William Nylander called him when
No,
he
he
gave him the
called-
game ball? Snappy.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if that's because he's a
Ooh.
snappy dresser or because he just snaps when he's out there now. Can't be contained. He's like the wimp from Slapshot who just decided he's going to beat people up now. And he's going to rip the sleeves off all his shirts to indicate how much of a badass he is. That's Kapanen. He's never heard of sleeves. Sleeves never heard of him. He's sleeving them in his dust because he's a fast guy. You get it? Sorry, I couldn't. I was trying to come up with
Pretty aggressive.
something that rhymed with snappy. I couldn't do it. Listen, I love it. I love it. I wish we got to see this sooner. But he's a guy who you had to give direction to. Mm-hmm. And there's so much of Cappy that reminds me of Nas. And when was Nas the best?
When you gave him direction.
When you gave him a mission. You're
Sick him.
Sick'em. The Sick'em shifts from Nas were amazing.
They were great.
And it took away from his scoring, but it also led to it. You know what I mean? Because it freed up space. It freed up space for his teammates. It directly led to a comeback in a playoff game against Washington. It's the best shift, maybe the best highlight of Nazem Kadri's career he was on the bench for. You know?
Yeah.
It was Matthew scoring. Mm-hmm. What about the McDavid goal? Good point. Good point. Ovechkin, sick him. Like, it was great. You had to give him a mission. When you give Kapanen a mission, he's great. You know who had a mission last night? Travis Dermott.
I was going to go to Travis Dermott next. What did you
Travis
think?
Dermott's mission was to be an asshole to Pettersson.
He's really stepped up.
And it cost him a penalty,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But it was a good example of they're not going to call everything. By
Well, and
my
I
count,
think-
you could have called at least 3 Dermott on Pettersson penalties.
And so this is the interesting part of the Dubas philosophy that I think gets lost in the mix. Because obviously the brand is get a bunch of high-skilled guys and hope nobody beats us up. That's what people think. What Travis Dermott, what Kyle Dubas suggests always is get your big talented players and surround them with other talented players. And if you need to make a move for a tougher player, a la a Kyle Clifford, you can do that. Thank you, Trevor Moore. Undrafted
Absolutely.
free agent. The other thing that you can do, and by the way, Trevor Moore was feisty. The other thing you can
Unafraid.
do is allow your skilled players to learn to have a bit of an edge. You saw it in Florida where Matthews hit, is it Mackenzie Weegar? And
flattened him.
and then scored a goal right after. Took him right out of the play. That's a good body check. That's what body checks are supposed to be. And I think with Travis Dermott, it's what we saw with Pettersson last night, and I think Pettersson's still injured a little bit. He seems to be fighting something.
He looked fed up.
Yeah.
He didn't like there's a certain thing that comes with being a vet of his skill level. Like
It's weird to call him a vet.
No. I'm saying so he's young and he's on his ELC. Crosby complained and like to the point where it hurt his game.
Oh, you mean
For a
like
while.
it knocked him out of the headspace?
Yeah, and after a while, you just figure it out and you go to the next shift, or you get up and you continue the shift. And Pettersson right now, boy, did he look fed up. Mm-hmm. He looked fed up. He's battling something.
Well, and so and I do want to talk about the Canucks next because their story's so interesting as well. But
Sure.
But with Travis Dermott and with Kasperi Kapanen and Zach Hyman got this a little bit, but I think there's a little bit more physicality even with Zach Hyman's game. These guys who have some skill, who have different roles on the team, are figuring out that they're not going to call everything.
I
figuring-
said this the moment Sheldon Keefe was hired. If anyone who ever watched the Marlies knows that they didn't back down from anybody, and they were never the bigger team on the ice, rarely ever. But it's Sheldon Keefe coaching a team. Like,
If you saw Sheldon Keefe play,
yeah, I don't know the sort of things Babcock talked about in the dressing room, but I would not be shocked to see Sheldon Keefe go punch someone. Dude, stick up for yourself. What the fuck?
yeah. Well, and I think it's nice to see guys who got that deep skill rather than drafting big knuckle dragging dudes. You draft the guys with skill, and you let them pick up the fighting part. It's easier to pick up the scrappy part than it is to pick up the skill part. And so you draft the skill, and you hope the scrappy comes eventually, and it seems like it's happening.
John Scott, even wasn't always a fighter. If you listen to his story,
he was a pretty good player.
One day they were like, "You're bigger than everyone. Can you fight?" And he's like, "I'll try." You know what I mean? So it's not this God-given gift. You come out and you're George St. Pierre, and you're John Jones,
Bob Probert.
To bring it in hockey terms, I suppose.
Yeah,
but it's you get Ty Domi. Even
was a great junior player.
If Ty Domi
Wade
just
Belak
made different choices, Wade Belak was a 12th overall pick. He went higher than Patrick Elias.
Yeah.
In the 1994 draft. If Tim Thomas went in that draft too, 12th round.
Wow.
If Ty Domi decided to play differently, he could have, and he could have been a 20, 30 goal scorer in the NHL. He was a skilled player. He was fat. He won league fastest skater.
Yep.
He decided to beat the shit out of people.
And he made a lot of money doing it.
And he did, and was always the shortest guy.
Yep. Absolutely.
You know, it's not a size thing. Stick up for yourself, for crying out loud.
Also, quickly,
no one likes being punched in the face, even if you lose the fight. No one likes being punched in the face.
There can be nobody who's more mad today about the Martin Marincin goal than Freddie the Goat, who also had a wicked goal, and no one's talking about it.
Great goal.
No one's talking about it.
Awesome guy. I told you he's got a great shot. People laugh. Freddie the Goat has a great shot, legitimately great shot. He just, puck handling, whatever. But
that's okay.
He has a great shot. Man, that was... Okay, as long as we're talking about goals that should have maybe been stopped. I think Demko...
all the goals Demko allowed probably should have been stopped.
I think he lost it because Fantenberg got down on a knee, and I think he lost the puck, and by the time he picked it up, it was behind him. But, Goat's got a great shot.
When you were talking about Freddie the Goat's shot in the LFR, you made a fun comparison to Mitch Marner on how they both like to pass first, and then occasionally they're like, "Oh, everyone knows I'm going to pass first. I'm going to try shooting." Yeah, and that's kind of what Freddie did there.
That's sort of the point I was making.
I generalized it.
Yeah, Goat's not pass first. It's just surprise them. Mm-hmm. Surprise them. I hate how predictable the Leafs are sometimes when I watch them. Marner's passing. He's going to carry it. He's good. And teams have started to learn to leave him alone because he's trying to draw a penalty. He's trying to do two things. Find open space to make a great pass or draw a penalty. He's going to carry it. He's going to carry it. And I remember a game, it was either last year or the year before, where he's standing in front of Tuukka Rask and he just blasts it. He just blasts a slap shot and it goes in. Because who the hell's expecting that? Mm-hmm. No one's expecting Marner to take a standing still slap shot in front of the net, right? So the comparison I was making was more Marty. So he's got Tavares trailing. He's passing it back. No. Every now and then just do something perplexing. Every now and then just confuse the other team. Why would Marincin take it? Why would Goat shoot from there? Why would anything? Just be less predictable and you become a nightmare. Because all of a sudden, they're having to account for all these maybes and they leave alone,
Mm-hmm. That's
Matthews, they leave alone what?
Right. Sometimes the overstructured part of Babcock's coaching, I think, held them back because it didn't allow for that. Now, unfortunately, it swung the other way for a little while where they got a little too loose. And they're like, we're going to do whatever. The key is to have several different plays in your playbook and then defer to one of them.
And here, you know what? Here's one. You know what might have freed up space for Goat? You know what might have confused Demko? Barry passing.
Right.
Instead of shooting, just be less predictable.
Yep,
that's all. And last night was a good example of that from the Leafs.
I do want to take a quick spotlight on the Canucks here. Well, it's not really a quick one, but I do want to talk about the Canucks because they are from the most interesting division in hockey.
Easily.
And with the loss last night, things got way more complicated for them. I believe as of the trade deadline, they were leading the division. They now find themselves third, 6 points back of Vegas. Last show, I believe it was like 2 points.
And now Mark Stone out week to week.
Yes, but the Canucks are six back of Vegas. We'll see.
Right.
But I think the thing with Vegas is that Marc-Andre Fleury is starting to play like Marc-Andre Fleury again, and they have Robin Lehner.
I was about to say, if he falters, they have a Vezina nominee.
Right. And so here's the thing. Where this becomes a disaster for Vancouver is they do not have a pick until the third round of this year's draft, and they did not make the playoffs last year. The Canucks fans are in an absolute uproar right now, and actually, you should see some of the.
They need a goalie.
Yeah, they do, but they didn't address that, and so.
Oh no, they got Louis Domingue.
So, Jeff Patterson, who's a Canucks reporter, on this is a quote from Travis Green. That was a good game by our team. We played a good road game, battled back, bit of an unlucky goal in the third one. Good response from our team coming into a tough building against a good team. Quite easily could have gone the other way.
One?
That's what he said. And so,
That's so disrespectful.
so people are.
He hit the post and got his own rebound.
I don't know, but people are very upset because the response to his tweet, the responses are amazing. Like this guy Jake, every time you lose isn't a good game, Greener. And
Oh, come
hey,
on.
keep playing Louis and sucking the second line of any offense.
Oh.
So we played 2 good games and lost both? What? Nobody is buying the sugarcoat routine anymore, Travis. This team sucks. Make some adjustments. This is a team that is in the playoffs.
I think Canucks fans are being way too hard on Leafs legend Travis Green.
True. Third line legend, Travis Green.
Overtime winner.
Which one was that, Philly?
Oh my God, I don't remember. I think it was Philly.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The Canucks are in a tough race. And to say that they suck is unequivocally wrong. You could make the argument that Calgary has sucked, and they have sucked for parts of this year. They won the division last year.
They're Toronto West.
They are.
Just a team that is capable of so much more.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're coming back. But here's the thing with the Canucks. You lose your number one goalie, things are going to be tough.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. There's no other way to put that.
Dude, the goat goal can't go in. And okay, you give the goalie the benefit of the doubt on one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so wipe the goat goal clean. Mm-hmm. The Matthews goal can't go in. No. The Marincin one was almost just a bar in wrist shot from Martin Marincin. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I know you're not expecting it, but holy shit.
Well, and here's the thing, to back that point, in his last 3 games, he's allowed 10 goals, and he's sporting an .892 save percentage. You see what happens to teams that don't have good goaltending?
Right.
You still think that there's not some issues with Freddie Anderson
Sometimes
too?
it's that simple.
Yeah.
We need some stops, and we're not getting them.
And we need some phenomenal stops sometimes too.
Yeah, but then if you say that and you're the coach, you're a jerk.
Right.
Yeah,
so
the coach can't
one
do that.
guy on a team of 18 skaters, you know?
And it's a tough position for Demko. I don't know what his numbers are in the season.
Uh-huh.
I assume he was better as a backup, but now you know you're the guy. And there isn't better goaltending behind you. No disrespect to Louis Domingue, there isn't better goaltending behind you. His record last year with Tampa was unbelievable as a .907.
Yeah.
On the league's best team. Come on.
But that's the thing. And I still think people who played hockey, people who've watched hockey, are so used to not picking at a goaltender's performance because you don't do that when you're in the dressing room. Mm-hmm. In any setting. It's competitive hockey. It's even if you're a grown man. I'm 40 and I'm a man and I play hockey on Thursday nights.
I'm not a kid.
If you are on a hockey team or you are a hockey coach, you don't blame the goalie for losses. However, sometimes, guys, it's the goalie.
But the reality is that sometimes it can be the goalie, even though you don't want to pick
According to John
just keep that way.
Tortorella, you need a goddamn occasional save.
That's right. I just need a guy.
John Graham.
Also, I mean, to be honest, Pettersson was a little not there last night.
And they don't have Brock Besser.
Yep.
Toffoli's been a nice pickup.
Sure. He was a bit the 2 penalties in the last minute in the game, and one of them didn't count because it was a goal. But I was like, "Why, man?"
Yeah, but I don't know what was that with 30 seconds left or something.
Yeah, but
I was
still,
like, why are you still pulling the goalie? Stop it. The game's
because you
over.
want to keep playing.
I guess
You're supposed to go hard to the end.
Don't tell them not to try,
Hey,
Steve.
But I wanted them to because they were trying to score on my team. That was my wish.
And Steve is not
that they would
confident
stop
in our
trying.
goaltending situation. There it is, right there. Proof. Boom.
Shit. Adam got it.
Guys, Leon Draisaitl's got 102 points.
That's
Yeah.
great. Can I go to the bathroom?
Sure.
Sorry.
Why don't we pause?
All right, we can pause.
Leon Draisaitl has 102 points, guys, and I still can't properly spell his last name.
Ooh, let's try that. D-R-A-I-S.
No, hold on. Start again.
I got it.
D-R.
Hold on, Jesse, don't look it up. All right.
D-R-A-I-S-A-I-T-L.
Hey!
Nice. Did it.
Got it. Wow.
Good
He's one of
job.
those names, like every time I bring up Leon Draisaitl, I just put Leon D.
Dankeschön.
Boy, did Edmonton need last night to win against the Jets, but I gotta say, the
you
Jets
gotta
needed
say?
it more. But how? Okay. I know this is not something that we do, but I feel like this year we're gonna have to give out a playoff MVP trophy to a team that did not make the playoffs. As in, the team that you tried hard and you blew us away, but you still didn't quite get there. And I feel like, unfortunately, and I hope this isn't the case, it's going to be the Jets.
The Jets played great last night.
Connor Hellebuck.
Dude, Connor Hellebuck he's a .919 save percentage. And this is you remember when Connor McDavid didn't win the Hart because the Oilers didn't make the playoffs?
Which
and
was
Taylor
silly.
Hall won?
Which was silly.
Okay.
I regret my role in that.
That is going to happen again, but this year we're going to have a double robbery because Connor Hellebuck is going to be held back from the Vezina and the MVP, and he deserves both of them.
Bet he doesn't even get nominated for the Vezina.
That's a joke. A joke.
It's a joke.
It's ridiculous. Connor Hellebuck has taken the Jets defense, which was wiped out,
Wiped out.
and created something out of nothing.
They had an
I have made
18-year-old.
fire.
Yeah. They had an 18-year-old to begin the season, and he was one of their best
To be
ones.
fair,
To be fair.
Connor Hellebuck wasn't even the best goalie in the game last night.
Whoa.
Last night,
Mike
this year.
Smith was unbelievable and has been unbelievable for Edmonton. I would argue he's been more important to them, their success, because they've actually been winning than Hellebuck has been with the Jets.
That was a great tweet from I think it was NHL Chunky. He's like, "Oh no, we're getting a good Mike Smith game.
Right. It was
Yeah.
39 of 41.
He has two
His
gears.
saves.
Didn't
He
the-
has two gears, and they're complete sieve and God.
Didn't the Leafs get good Mike Smith earlier this year against the Oilers? Like really good Mike Smith? I thought so.
You might be thinking of the Calgary game where we got stonewalled.
Oh, that was Reddit.
That was
Reddit,
rich.
and that
I
was
feel like we caught a
unbelievable.
good Mike Smith in the last couple of years. I can remember
I
that.
think we did,
Yeah.
and I want to say the game that they won in Edmonton this year. I think that was Koskinen.
Right.
Oh, that contract sucks.
Yeah. Oh.
God.
Yeah, well, he's been okay this year. He's got
not okay
Koskinen's
money.
911 save percentage at a 289. Not great. 34 games.
It's I. That can best be described as I.
It's all right. The thing is,
It's better. Than
Josh Morrissey's also out. Like, you look at their line is out, Morrissey's out. Like, this is a team that's been wiped out by free agency and injuries,
and whatever you call the Dustin Byfuglien saga.
which is injury and something else.
Yep.
So I gotta hand it to the Jets. I mean, you expect the Oilers to win that game, but the fact that the Jets, the fact that you could say the Jets could have won it, they played really well. Wow, and that's what I mean. Like, you can't do this every year, but if the Jets do not make the playoffs this year, boy, do they deserve it.
You know, like I know Jets fans are not very big on Paul Maurice, dude. Like,
Come on.
look at what he's working with.
Yeah.
Back there. You know what I mean? It's like the Leafs right now, but always. That's just your reality, because that's what you have. Like, that's a tough.
But he
go.
doesn't have a Morgan Riley, Jake Muzzin coming back.
No, you're getting a career season out of Neil Pionk. Like, you're struggling, man. Mm-hmm. And Connor Hellebuck's keeping him in games. Connor,
Does it make you
Kyle
wonder?
Connor, unbelievably underrated. Really good player.
Does it make you wonder what they could have got for Trouba a couple years ago when he was really hot on the market?
Yeah.
Because Pionk does not seem like enough. I know it was Pionk and a pick, but
Was it a first?
I think so. And I know that they made their run and they got to the conference finals. I get that. But my understanding at the time was they could have had something comparable to Trouba. They just wanted to make sure it was a right shot guy. And maybe they shouldn't have, because they already had Byfuglien and then they had Myers.
Yeah, that's
And
a tough one. They should have won the cup. They should have straight up won the
Yeah,
cup.
but
that year.
Vegas had Vegas Magic. And really,
They had Flurry
we
magic.
called it Vegas Magic, but they've been great for 3 years now.
Absolutely. I mean, they could have easily made the cup final last year, and I wouldn't be stunned to see him there this year.
I wouldn't be either. I wouldn't
No,
be there at
and
all.
they, that was before they got Mark Stone.
Yeah, so anyway, I feel like Connor Hellebuck is going to suffer from this old world stupidity that you have to make the playoffs to win any awards. But Vezina and Hart, he should be bare minimum top 2 in voting. Both of them.
It's a tough one because like all
Ridiculous.
the names Jesse mentioned, like Hudobin is not the starter for Dallas.
No.
Francouz has not been the starter for Colorado.
But he did just get a 3-year extension at $2 million a pop. It's
That's
not bad.
That's a great deal.
Oh yeah.
And Kemper was the starter for Arizona, got hurt. Mm-hmm. You know, so Hellebuck is going to be in there with all these guys, except he's going to have played like twice as many games as almost all of them. You know, that's sort of how Vasilevsky won Vezina last year, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
He played significantly more than Leonard or Bishop.
Yep. Yeah, well, I mean, and I think frequency matters. I think it
100%
I think it
matters.
matters that you played more games. I 100% get that argument. But boy, for a guy that has, I mean, like you look at some of these teams with the players in front of them, like, you know, St. Louis's goalies, Colorado's goalies, Dallas's goalies, you know, they all have great numbers. You know, Bishop and Hudobin and, you know, everybody. But you look at what Winnipeg has and the fact that they're right in there, and that Winnipeg is within 10 points of Dallas, who is a Stanley Cup favorite, according to Elliot Friedman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that is crazy. And by the way, Dallas lost a big game to Boston last night. And it's funny because Boston's calling it, well, it's our back on track game. They have 94 points.
Holy shit.
When did they get off track?
They had
What
a bit of
point-
a slump. They had a bit of a slump.
Yeah, but they're going to win the President's Trophy. They lead league in points.
Slump by their standards.
If you go back and watch at the beginning of the season, we did a little bit of predictions. I want you to go back and check out the predictions that one Adam Wild made
Did you
about the
call that?
Atlantic Division. I said the Boston Bruins were going to come out pissed off, angry, fired up, and ready to win for Big Z. And what have they done? They lost
Exactly that.
They lost the Stanley Cup final last year, and they are not going to let it happen again. They are on a mission, and it's quiet outside of Boston when people talk about Boston because it's just the old story. Oh, the Bruins are good. What are we going to say?
Right.
Guys, the Boston Bruins are going to be steamrollers in the playoffs. It's going to be unbelievable to watch. I don't care what team you cheer for. You got to watch whatever series Boston is playing because it is going to be crazy.
I do want the Leafs to play Boston. Like, I don't think any story is complete without beating them. Or it's not as perfect as it could be without beating them. But I am sort of looking at them this year like, Carolina, you take them first. And throw a lot of hits.
And
Who
speaking
knows? Maybe
of,
they beat them. I don't know.
And speaking of Vezina, Tuukka Rask is probably going to win that award.
Probably.
He's I think he leads the league in wins with 24. He's 24-7-6, 928 save percentage, 4 shutouts,
And it's him and Hellebuck, and he's played like roughly as much and
38 games.
And
yeah.
they're
better
that good.
numbers.
Yeah.
They're
25
and they're
points
gonna
ahead.
make the playoffs and win the President's Trophy. People keep saying, man, leave that trade alone. It's so far in the past. It is a decade and a half later,
It's still,
and it's still getting worse. That guy's going to win a Vezina trophy.
he has one, doesn't
And
he?
Andrew Raycroft.
Does he?
Andrew
There you
Raycroft
go.
is back working in Boston for Boston.
Andrew Raycroft is on TV in Boston going, look how great Tuukka Rask is. And we're here without a playoff win since 2004 like a bunch of schmucks.
No offense to Andrew Raycroft. It's
We
not
haven't
his
won
fault.
a playoff series since the year before Tuukka Rask was drafted by the Leafs.
And guess who made that trade? Where he's working? Where is it, Steve?
Boston!
What's his name?
John Ferguson Jr.
What's he do?
Make me sick.
No, but what's his title?
Oh, he's AGM, I think.
Okay, there you go. Guys, you saw the Bobby Ryan hat trick game on Friday.
Beautiful.
Wanted to know your thoughts.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It was he made his comeback game.
Like 90 days or no, sorry, 100 days?
100 on the button, and that was on the road, I believe. And then he gets a hat trick in Ottawa on his return. Perfect. Awesome. Like it's, that's a big thing. That's a really hard thing. That is an on and off the ice thing. To go totally sober like that. Got a lot of admiration for that because you could just as easily
No.
pack it in.
Or I won't get sober.
Yeah.
And
I mean, some guys in Bobby Ryan's position never hit the ice again.
yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
He took the necessary steps. You can go, yeah, fuck you. I make all this money. Just pay me my, give me my checks and get out of my face. You wanted to play hockey.
Well, and the thing I love is that there have been a lot of little wins for the Senators this year. The first little win is that Eugene Melnyk has not spoken to the media.
Yes.
And
yes.
that's, you notice how the mood around Senators and their fans has gone up since he stayed away from cameras.
ton of optimism.
It's crazy.
And they're having a great rebuilding year.
They are.
As a fan base, I mean. Like
They're rebuilding
and
the
they know
the
they
connection.
suck. They know that the team's not great. We love our younger players. We love watching the Leafs lose. We love watching the Sharks lose. And now, introduced to that, they love watching the Islanders lose.
Yeah.
Because they got that pick. If you're a Sens fan, you got to have 2 remotes. You got to be clicking between all these games. Because you're looking... I want the Penguins really screwed the Sens last night. Losing 5-0 to the Sharks. Oh, my God. No, it's a it's not a bad time to be a Sens fan. You got to assume the only direction is up.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I think wins like that, first off, for Bobby Ryan himself, it's so important. You get the, I think for sure when you're coming back and he's made a career out of being a goal scorer and hasn't scored a lot for the last few years and has had a ton of criticism leveled at him and was almost a part of the Erik Karlsson deal just so they could get out from under his contract.
Yeah.
You imagine what that does to your ego, right?
You're the cap dump.
We're trying to trade our best player so we can get rid of you as well. Because your contract is so obtrusive to our team. And that's the part where it's like you have to overcome all of that. And I don't think you can really understand what it's like to take criticism from thousands of anonymous people until you've done it.
Right.
And I don't say that knowing that either. Like I take it from a few hundred.
We're not quite on Bobby Ryan level.
No. An entire team printed in a newspaper, like that's a whole different level. And I know sometimes we all have struggled with it in the past. And so you can only imagine what it would be like
on that scale.
Exactly. Where there's so much more on the line. And
no one's interviewing me after every LFR going, so you fucked up that edit.
Yeah, right?
You forgot to...
Nick Robertson.
You cut that off really quick. Oh, you left that one too long. You left a breath in. What's wrong with you?
Exactly.
Yeah. What do you got to do to get it back?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tough question.
Does this team need to go out and get the newest edition of iMovie? Can this team, you're stuck at,
Have you considered getting
40K views?
Have you considered getting an actual stand for your camera instead of a stack of old textbooks, Steve?
You tried that once.
Something we've considered as a team. I tried once. I split my pants in the store and walked out very embarrassed. But I think we're on an upturn here with the Steve Dangle YouTube channel. Oh, okay, yeah, you had the one hot video, but like you'll never be Nasher. Well, Nasher's he's a good guy. All that. It's tough. Yeah, what do you got to do to get? I'm the young whippersnapper trying to get up onto Mount Rushmore there. Maybe you're right. Did you have this conversation just to convince me to be a better person?
I'm just saying Bobby Ryan deserves all the applause, all the chants, and he did it for his family, he did it for himself. But to see him come back and score 3 goals,
awesome.
1 goal would have been great.
Yeah. Well, and with a young rebuilding team, now he can actually be a positive part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Not this. We got to get rid of this guy now. Hey, we got to keep this guy. He can be a leader, just like Mark Borowiecki's been with the team. He can be great.
Right.
Now he can do it on the ice, too.
Right. Montreal, big winner last night from Jeff Petrie. I'm not sure if you saw that in overtime. What an unbelievable
barely,
overtime.
Yes.
Oh, so good. I'm telling you, Jeff Petrie should have moved at the deadline. They could have got lots for him. The Canes are 0-2-1 since David Ayers.
Unbelievable, eh? Also forgetting they don't have either goalie. We sort of forgot
Guess they
that.
should have called David Ayers.
Nedeljkovic is supposed to be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a tough one for Carolina.
Do
they have Pesci, or is he out too?
I don't know. I don't actually have that on hand. I believe he's going to be out for a bit.
Jeez.
There's a few teams that are on weird streaks. Like Philadelphia's won 7 in a row.
Yeah, crazy.
St. Louis has won, I think, 7 as well.
Not as
After
crazy.
kind of not having a very good stretch.
Pittsburgh lost 6 in a row.
Oh,
Have
St.
their
Louis
last win
won
was
a bunch
against
of
the Leafs.
Yeah, that was the last
The streak
one.
started with getting shut out.
Wait, guys, are you telling me Pittsburgh won a bunch of games after not playing particularly well? Never seen that before.
No.
Pittsburgh's dealing with injuries too,
opposite.
though, and they still have 80 points. Like they're doing great. I wonder.
They need like 8 more wins.
Yeah, and Nashville's creeping in there too.
Yep, they're on a hot streak too after I talked about how garbage they are. And that's another team. Again, we talk about the teams where it's confusing as to why they suck.
Yeah,
Nashville, chief among them. They might have a more expensive 1 through 4 center situation than the Leafs do. They got Duchesne making 8. They got Johansson making a little over 8.
Turris.
And they got Turris making 6.5 or something like that.
yeah,
Is Benino? No, where's Benino now? Is he there too?
yeah. Nicholas Bonino.
And that guy makes like $4 million.
It's a lot of money.
Or Craig Smith. Like
It's not
they're
least
overloaded
expensive,
on
but it's
centers,
pretty expensive.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's a little bit. But no, they should be winning. And what's weird is I look at their lineup card and like Philip Forsberg's lining up on the fourth line sometimes.
Yeah, because like they
Weird
seem to
team.
be paying. I don't want to say the wrong guys, but you don't look at any of those guys and be like, all right, that's a number one forward on any team in the league. Like at least with the Leafs or most of the guys around the league, when they're making those kinds of numbers, you're like, okay, he's a number one forward on any team. But these guys, I'm like, is Ryan Johansson starting?
I think they took a bet on him. I think they bet on him.
Yeah.
He had a good playoff until he got injured. Remember the year they went to the finals?
But then they also
was a
bet
bad
on Matt
injury.
Duchene, and then Matt Duchene looks like he's a number 2 center on a Stanley Cup winning team.
I think with Matt Duchene, though, it was like, how many teams have to bet on Matt Duchene? And it's not that Matt Duchene is a bad hockey player. It's just that he's not the number one center. He's a very good number 2.
They remind me a little bit of Calgary, where I'm like, Sean Monahan is great. Mm-hmm. Is he number 1?
Well, he is in Calgary.
Is he on a cup-winning team? Maybe.
Right. Maybe. Depends on the pieces around him.
Is Duchene good? Yes. $8 million. Yeah, maybe. Number 1 on a cup-winning squad.
Don't know.
Don't know. And then you look at Vegas and you go, they had William Karlsson.
But he put up 41 goals.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Out of nowhere!
Right?
Yeah.
But he did it.
But he did
He
it.
went to the cup.
But
You
he
remember?
did it.
Do you guys remember? I don't know if you remember this. Justin Bourne, and I think it was just after he joined the Athletic and Vegas was just taken off. And he said, man, whoever let Columbus expose William Karlsson and also not give William Karlsson a chance in Columbus needs to be fired. And the guy who did it tweeted him and he said, well, it's not that easy.
No way.
And then deleted his account. He deleted his account after that. I don't know what his name was, but I remember seeing that. And I was like,
That's funny.
You know, because hockey people follow Justin Bourne, right?
yeah.
He's a former coach and player and all that stuff, right? So there's like real hockey people.
Oh, he's working for an NHL team like probably less than a year before he wrote that.
I mean, but is he like, ooh, that's a big mistake, man.
And you deleted that app. But do you got Google Maps? You go in there and you find me the lie.
It's
You
true.
GPS that shit. Let me know.
You were in Windsor this weekend, right?
Waterloo.
Waterloo. Any stories?
I got to sign a Zamboni book and an actual Lego Zamboni.
Okay.
That was a topic of conversation.
Oh man, what did people say? What was the reaction? Most people, like when most people come up to you, they've got something prepared. It's funny when you sit next to Steve at these things. You know that there's people that have been standing in line, and it's amazing that anybody will come and stand in line. It's amazing.
I'm consistently weirded out by it.
And you can tell that it's something that they've wanted to yell back at the video when they've watched it.
Yeah, sorry, weirded out by it, as in like I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah. No, I don't think anybody thinks it's a bad thing.
No, it's the best. It's awesome.
But
it's just most people are just like, so like, you still got a voice? Like, are you good? Like, are you okay? Like, I don't know if like last podcast I was battling because I like legit I think I pulled my tongue. Like I hurt like a tongue muscle.
wouldn't surprise me.
No, most people they were awesome, and it was cool going there like sort of during the school year still because there were people from all over. Some guy's like, I'm from Pembroke. I'm like, that's 6 hours away. He's like, yeah, because he goes to school there. It was a really good time, and Belleville was great too. Belleville was
It's a great town.
huge showing. Bell Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
I went there the weekend before. So here's how I walked into Belleville. So walk in there. I don't know the Belleville Mall, the Quinty Mall. I don't know it. So I'm walking around and I'm trying to find the Chapters or Indigo. I'm trying to find it. Where is it? Oh, there's a crowd of people. Oh, there's a really long line. Wow. That's pretty great. Put that little feather in my cap and I'm walking down the line. I'm like, I wonder if anyone's going to, see that I'm here or whatever. Locked eyes with a couple people, gave them a friendly nod, kept walking. And I'm like, I can't believe the end of this line. This is hundreds of people who are there to see Paw Patrol at the Quincy Mall.
What was Paw Patrol doing at the Quincy Mall?
Not signing books.
That is amazing. Could the amount of toddlers not thrown you and like been like, oh
Well, yeah, and then I'm walking back. I'm doing this, and no one knows that I'm doing my own personal walk of shame as I go back down the line. But I'm like, oh yeah, it's the world of strollers. It's every 3-year-old in Belleville is at this Paw Patrol signing.
wow.
And then, so I had to walk around to where the actual bookstore was. Listen, the turnout was great. Signed books the whole time, but I had nothing on Paw Patrol.
You're not Paw Patrol yet.
I am absolutely not Paw Patrol. That was a nice little, hey, your ego's at, let me just squash that down there. So next weekend is Peterborough. I'm going to be at the Peterborough Pete's game.
Okay. Cool.
Pre-game and first intermission.
And we're getting close to an announcement too. But we're not going to say yet. But we're getting close. Probably later this week. Good times.
Great times.
By all. All right. And I think, that's all I got to cover for this show. Want to do some press conference?
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
I don't have any questions.
Well, that's bad. Might that hurt us?
Steve, first question. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Tough question. It's like Facebook from 2000. Steve Dangle is.
Okay, you know the mean thing? Okay, so Mrs. Dangle always does this. Whenever, like, if she's talking to me and I'm clearly not paying attention, she just starts going, do, 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 do. She's a bully.
So does that play in your head when nothing's going on? It's like you're back.
Yeah, that's just me. That's my head at all times. No, it's actually the soundtrack for Red Dead.
Oh,
People don't realize they're trying to have a nice conversation. And may I stand unshaken?
wow.
That's me.
Oh my God.
That's me. I'm just thinking a sad country song by D'Angelo.
Smokes. Wow.
I don't know what is on my mind. Can't wait for it to get hot. You know what I miss about the summer? Just being able to leave the freaking house.
Yeah.
It's such a to-do to leave the house right now. And I forgot poop bags. There's nothing worse than getting a few houses down and you go, I forgot poop bags. That's not a problem for everybody, though, because they just let their dog shit and they bury it in the snow. Not me. I have integrity.
Those are
bad
shitty,
people.
Shitty
Right?
people.
Yeah, you see? Because dog butt.
The other thing is, with a baby, you have to dress them up in a whole bunch of stuff on top of the other thing. And babies, I don't know if you know this, squirm a lot.
How long does it take you to leave the house?
Oh, I started showing up to things on time because I have to back time things properly now.
There you go.
It's crazy. My friends Zach and Emily, they're like, they are never on time for anything. And that's why we get along so well, partially, is that we both show up late and it's okay.
There you go.
But the thing is that they start, whenever they're in town, they're like, we'll say we'll meet at 10:30, and I know that means 10:45, but I'll still be there at 10:30 because I ended up there early because it takes me 15-20 minutes to get Everly ready to go.
Because it's like you're packing a caravan
Of
heading to
things.
California.
Yes.
Like,
what if I don't have this thing? She could die. What if I don't have this book? She could die.
wow. Wow.
You know, and now they're like, well, we don't even feel like we don't even know you anymore because now you're 15 minutes early to everything. So that is
What
not
do you do
been-
with those 15 minutes?
Just hang out on.
Simply raise your kid like a psycho?
Engage them, I guess.
Oh, weird.
But yeah, it's far less of a pain in the summertime, and I'm looking forward to that as well. That's a good point. Jesse, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind is the second question from Good Canadian Boy Bot 97. Good Canadian Bot 97 on Reddit writes, "Who's your pick for the Hart Trophy?" You take a second, you can think about it.
There's the obvious two, which is McDavid and Draisaitl, which then becomes funny because, well, wait a minute. They play together. I know McDavid was out, but that was like, what was that, 2 weeks?
Right.
Come on now. It's probably still McDavid for me. I know Draisaitl's unbelievable. Dude, I know he needed a leap year to do it, but that guy had 100 points before the end of February. That's stupid.
Does it matter that he has, I think it's 13 more points than McDavid right now?
It's a little hard to give it to McDavid if he was outscored.
Right. By double digits.
Yeah. Like, that's a tough one. Can you look up Nathan McKinnon's point total and how close the second closest Av is to him. Because there's a real good argument, even if McDavid, Draisaitl both end up with like 125 points each.
Nathan McKinnon has 85 points. Cale Makar,
He's second?
47.
Whoa!
Wow.
Who's the next highest scoring forward on the Avs? Because they've had all those injuries, right?
Burkowski.
Yeah, Burakovsky is at 45.
And he has 85?
Yes.
Rantanen was on a point per game pace, but he's had 2 bad injuries this year.
Right.
So
And so Nathan McKinnon is 40 points up on the next closest forward
30.
on his team.
30.
30.
85
No,
and
40.
45.
85, 45. Yeah. Seems right.
yeah. Yeah. That's
Like,
crazy. That's crazy.
He's separated by Burakovsky by nearly the amount of points that Burakovsky has.
Yeah.
And he may double the next closest forward by the end of the season.
So, do you lean with McKinnon? Do you go Draisaitl? Do you go with McDavid? Do you go with Tuukka Rask? I only bring that up to jab you.
Ooh, there's an argument. No.
Kind of.
There's an argument.
Best goalie on the President's Trophy winning team? Yeah.
Why not?
Connor Hellebuck is the answer.
I don't know.
I'm
if
not
that's
kidding.
true.
Connor Hellebuck's the answer.
Well, if we're going by the actual definition of the trophy, most valuable, I go back to Jesse Spector voting for James Reimer in 2013. He was, damn it. He was.
I also think Connor Hellebuck's been phenomenal.
I'm going to give
Nathan McKinnon always scores that much.
Yeah, but
he
you
doesn't
can't
score 40
diminish
more
it a
points.
guy's performance
They
just
also
because he
have-
does it often.
Yeah. Doesn't that make it better?
I guess. Well, whatever, Nathan. You do you.
Boy, that's tough. Because there's the two-headed monster in Edmonton.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to give it to McKinnon just to be difficult. I'm going to give it to McKinnon just because...
Oh, Edmonton's going to go
Like-
back to hating you.
Well, dude, the Draisaitl, he's got to do it without McDavid. 2 weeks.
All right.
McKinnon's been dealing with that for most of the season. Like, okay, you have Rantanen out, Landeskog out. Don't worry, we'll pull up Naz and throw him out.
Yeah.
It just keeps happening. The only guy who stays in is him.
You know what's crazy? He had all of those guys for over 40 games this year. Connor Hellebuck's not had any defense.
Adam,
For the entire-
I
for
understand
for
the point
almost-
you're trying to make.
Guys, Connor Hellebuck, MVP.
But
So
but
you're right for
he
the
hasn't-
PHWA.
No.
He hasn't
no,
done
no,
enough
and-
for the team. They haven't won enough.
They are,
They haven't,
right there.
They haven't won enough though.
guys.
So you're going to give the Hart Trophy to a guy who doesn't make the playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah, but-
I would have done it 2 years ago with McDavid.
Yeah, this
Sorry,
is the-
Taylor Hall,
Yeah,
but
that's the
McDavid,
same.
that was McDavid's year again.
Yeah, this is the same.
This is the same.
This would
I
be the
can't-
same if he had a 950.
Yeah.
Get
like
out.
The team,
Stop it.
The team hasn't won enough. Like they're 20th in the overall standings.
And they're tops among man games lost to injury.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Okay.
Guys, come
Are
on.
you counting Bufflin in that? In the man
should.
against lost
You
number?
should.
Okay.
They were
Okay,
going
that's
in
fair.
expecting him to play.
That's fair.
Right? They would have gone out and replaced him. That was the problem.
It's just the 20th place team, their goalie. I'm not. It doesn't excite me. It doesn't excite me for
Guys,
MVP.
I'm going to get really upset.
There should be 2 awards, and this will settle us all. The Hart and the Island Award, where you're just alone on an island.
The Island Award. If it's most valuable player to his team, Connor Hellebuck is the Jets.
Why are we diminishing guys who play on good teams? Like, why are we not giving them more
It's
credit?
why do we
Saying-
diminish coaches who coach good teams?
Andre Palat.
Why do we
Sometimes
That's what I got.
the awards award the guy who's the best coach on the best team. You know,
Do you think Bruce Cassidy's going to win the Jack this year?
possibly.
Why not?
Pasternak.
You show me a good
It
goalie.
always goes to the ooh, I can't believe you guys are here, coach.
Yeah, if
Paul Maurice might get it. They make playoffs.
Pasternak goes 55-55, I'd probably give him my Hart Trophy. He's at 47-44
Man,
right
he's
now.
had an unbelievable
91
year.
points.
And then you look at him and you go, he's on like arguably the best line in hockey.
Right, but then...
But should he be punished for that?
Do we discredit him because he plays on a good team? I
It's
don't
true.
know.
It's like we look at the best and we go,
You're...
we brush those to the side.
Right, it's interesting. It depends on how you define the award. Is it
I
most
agree.
valuable? Is it best performance? Who knows?
That's a tough one. It's also tough when you have built-in best original screenplay awards like The Rocket.
Right.
Which that's kind of what it is. And if you win the Rocket, you go, hey, he doesn't have to win the Hart because he won the Rocket. And this guy won the Selke, and this guy won the Vezina, and this guy won the Norris, and this guy won the Calder. And then you're left with Nathan McKinnon.
And then you
That's how it
also
works.
have the writer's MVP, and then you have the player's MVP, which sometimes don't line up.
Well, yeah.
Like
100%.
the year McDavid and Hall. McDavid won the player's MVP, and Hall won the writer's MVP.
Here's an interesting one.
Which is the Hart.
Could could McKinnon possibly win the Hart because McDavid and Draisaitl split their own vote?
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
That's very possible.
Could.
Yeah.
I think Pasternak's going to be in that top 3.
He's got to be.
You're probably right.
And if he's not, that's criminal.
Yeah.
If he's not, that's criminal. Like, it's crazy to think. Like,
he's got that touch of death this year. Yeah, he's been
like
real good.
You think Pasternak embarrassed the Leafs in the playoffs before? If they meet this year, scary.
Dude, he's on pace for 55 goals, and he slowed down. I remember he was a goal a game for like 30 games.
Yep.
What was the quote about him playing just for the love of it and not for the money? Because he makes $6 million.
Oh, he clearly loves the
He's
game.
a blue collar guy.
Yeah. I mean,
what a story.
It is a great story. He did grow up on a farm, like blue collar.
That's great. Makes $6 million bucks.
Yeah, but as we said at the time, you lose your right to say, "I do it for the love of it only." When you make $6 million doing it,
6.6,
what's the money for?
Yeah, give it back. It's better for the team if you give that money. If you love it so much, why don't you just give it back to the team so they can spend it on someone else, make your team better?
You can't get by on $700,000. Get an accountant.
Yeah,
What's
right.
wrong with you?
Exactly.
Get an accountant. Love of the game.
And by the way, he deserves every penny. I'm just saying.
Oh, he deserves more than everybody. He deserves near double.
Yeah. Yeah.
But them's the breaks. Get a better agent.
Or just
Get an agent
or
who
be
loves
happy
the
you making
game
$6
less.
million bucks a year, man. Whatever.
I don't care how much you love the game. Make sure your agent hates it.
And wants you to get paid for it, damn it.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Any other questions, Jesse?
No, we're good.
All right. Well, listen, that's it for us until Wednesday this week when we believe we will have another announcement for you, which we're very excited about. In the meantime, we hope that you keep well.
I don't.
Oh, no.
No, prosper. Prosper.
Live well, prosper.
Yeah. Be dope. Be Martin Marincin.
He better.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness. Connection complete.